Stay tuned after this brief message from Airbus Helicopters.
If helicopters are a big part of your life, then there's a pretty good chance you're here in Dallas this week for the HeliExpo show. HeliExpo is organized by the Helicopter Association International. It's the world's leading event for the rotorcraft industry. And on the eve of this year's show, we were able to spend time with HAI President Matt Zuccaro, who kindly gave us a most comprehensive overview of the state of the industry, the morale of his members, and he also gave us a run-through on some of the leading issues that they're facing as a community. For example, here in the United States, there's a new government committed, in theory, to a business-friendly agenda. But as Matt explained to us, it's not self-evident that that's going to translate into a friendlier operating environment for the rotorcraft sector.
Well, the regulation impact is critical to our industry. If we don't be careful, we will end up with an operating environment that's overburdensome regulations and legislation. And we're very sensitive to that. One of the biggest items we've been focused on is the FAA's reauthorization effort. And within that, I'm sure everybody realizes, is the initiative to separate the air traffic control organization from the FAA and to put it into a private company which will have a board that is predominantly dominated by the airlines. We don't see that as a good formula for general aviation and more specifically, the helicopter industry. And with that initiative is going to come, almost assured user fees. We already pay our fair share through excise tax for fuel and passengers, that we carry. And we're even concerned about that, quite frankly, because the money the helicopter industry pays into the system actually goes for predominantly fixed-wing projects. Build more runways, build more instrument infrastructure for airplanes. We really wanted escrowed and segregated to support such programs as a national heliport system and also a low-route, point-and-space approach, in-route IFR system dedicated to helicopters so that we can enhance safety and efficiency. It's a very ironic scenario for me personally. In the 1980s, the company that I had executive management over actually had the contract to manage Donald Trump's aircraft up in New York City. And I do know that he loves general aviation, he loves his helicopter and his fixed wing. And the other good news is that he's a very safety-oriented individual. But on the flip side of that coin, he also is a supporter of the private sector taking over a lot of government functions. And we respectfully disagree on this one issue. We think it should remain with the FAA.
Of course, a big part of the backdrop to this year's show is the recent improvement, the recent increase, more specifically, in the oil price.
Well, we're very encouraged with what seems to be the beginning of a recovery. And the domino effect that happens is these oil companies are looking to advance aircraft technology capabilities, so they have orders that are pending to buy aircraft and to lease them. And we're all hoping the price of oil, does what it does. We'll see the recovery and the benefits from that.
But offshore support isn't the only game in town for people in the helicopter industry. HAI's membership is extremely comprehensive, and it includes people who are operating in emergency medical support, search and rescue operations, parapublic roles such as law enforcement, news gathering, tourism, and executive transportation.
I think over the last several years there's been a fantastic growth spurt within the helicopter air ambulance community, and I think that's just a testament to the great work they do and the recognition as to how they are so important to the medical community in saving lives. And the law enforcement has done a good job of enhancing safety of the community. And it's interesting because we have a growth area also in unmanned vehicles besides the helicopters. And we see a lot of our sectors becoming experts in the operation of unmanned vehicles to supplement the helicopter operations. So it's a pretty exciting time for us, and air tours is doing well, international tourism is up, corporate America has re-embraced, I'll call it, the use of helicopters as a business tool. So there's a lot of good stories out there.